Welcome to UNCAGED, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we're speaking with Guillermo Campoamor. Guillermo, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you on the show, Guillermo. We're going to be talking about technology. We're going to be talking about really kind of an interesting area that's impacting the mobility space, mobility as a service. And in fact, we're going to be detailing Guillermo's company. He's the CEO and co-founder of Meep. Meep is a company that really believes in MaaS as a service, mobility as a service, and the models around that. It's a solution to really improve inefficient, congested, and disconnected city transport. And they're building sustainable mobility and helping users to move in smarter and faster ways. Well, I got to tell you, Guillermo, anybody that lives in any city around the world, especially the US, that is music to our ears. So we're excited to hear that. But Guillermo, before we get started, tell me a little bit about you and your background.
Perfect. So, well, I study here in Spain, law and economics. And after that, I specialized in an MBA about international commerce. And I was basically traveling the world for almost 3.5 years, selling wine in different countries. So that's my background.
You know, selling wine in different countries sounds about the best way to go to a country. No one's going to say, I don't want wine. So it's a great way for you to be the most popular guy in the room for sure. But now you have started Meep. So Meep's been going around for a while. Tell me a little bit about the story behind Meep and what you guys are working on.
Yes, so due to my experience in multiple cities of all sizes, I've realized that one of the big problems nowadays is traffic, congestion, and the difficulty to move from A to B in a sustainable and connected way. So that's why I decided to start Meep and try to change the way people move around cities with all this chaos and different transport options and difficult schedules and way of operating in different cities.
I love it. So tell me a little bit more in detail how that manifests itself. How does Meep actually work?
Yes. So we, as citizens, doesn't matter if you are a local or a tourist, you need to get from A to B. There are multiple options. Your time is limited or you have limited resources. So we managed to create a software solution that connects digitally all the modes of transport. Doesn't matter if they are private or public, in a single channel. Most of the times the channel is an app, or if the city or the operator, they already have an app, we can provide them an API integration. So a digital channel where users can plan, book, and pay without leaving that channel. Normally it's an app. And the experience is much more complete than tools that we are currently using.
That's great. So you're integrating kind of like some of the information that would be out there in terms of public transport. Is that fair? And you're working with municipalities around the world to collect that information, and then you're finding ways to make that more efficient for the end user, correct?
Yes, and on top of that, we can also provide bookings and payments. So, for example, if someone wants to go from city center to a bus station, sometimes they are a little bit outside the city center, they can get a bus, pay for their trip within the bus system, and also get the last mile to the station bike sharing bicycle. So that would be also paid in a single ticket with different modes in the same route.
Wow, I love that. I love that. I live in Miami, and whilst there are actually forms of public transportation here, the ability to navigate it is somewhat challenging because it's very dispersed. It's not well integrated. So finding ways to bring that together and get one ticket, one payment, I love it. I love that idea. Well, that's very exciting. Tell me, this issue on mobility has been a problem for all of us for, I'd say, my whole life, but certainly the last couple of decades. And tell me where we are on this. Are you finding that people are more receptive to what you and the Meep team are working on, or what are the challenges and what are the signs or the glimmers of hope?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I think sustainability now is becoming more and more priority for almost any city around the globe, but still a long way ahead of this ideal concept of livable, connected, and more walkable cities. There are countries, I think Europe is taking the lead in this kind of approach. You can find many more cities that are made for humans than for cars. And you have other latitudes like the US or Latin America that is still the concept of cities for citizens instead of for cars is a difficult goal nowadays.
Yeah.
But more and more they are incorporating new solutions, new digital solutions that they are helping. They are helping other modes and public transportation in this case, which I think is one of the key success factors to reach a better city. To compete in the same conditions as private vehicles.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of cities for citizens. It's something that you see a lot of in Europe, where you can see cities that are being redesigned, being evolved for the people that live there. And perhaps there's almost like a size, like a human size of a city, right? Maybe some cities around the world have gotten so massive that we've kind of almost they've become out of control. Or as you said, perhaps we have too many cities that were built for cars and not for people. But,
Yes.
Tell me a little bit now on some of the areas, some of the examples that you're really excited about, some cities that have done some interesting things that you think are good examples.
Well, there are many good examples around the globe. I think Amsterdam, with their tendency towards supporting more bicycle commuting patterns, I think is one of the big examples. But also in a more chaotic environment, I think like Southern Europe is like Spain, Italy. There are some really good examples. For example, we have deployed our solution in Zaragoza, that is a middle-sized city, around 500,000 inhabitants, combining 80% of the total transportation offer in the city, private and public, of course, and giving to the Zaragoza people a cohesive and complete solution where they can basically go everywhere with a single electronic ticket and moving in a multi-modal way along the city, even though they could probably only choose a bus. With this solution, combining and doing cross-selling offers kind of facilitates them multimodal trips and combining more sustainable modes of transport.
Well, I think we need it in Miami, so please bring it here. I'm an unusual person in the city of Miami because I actually don't own a car. I don't drive. And so when I get around, it's usually either via Uber or public transportation, or I'm riding my bike around. And I challenged myself about 2 weeks ago to try to take public transportation to a sporting event. And it was interesting, in theory, it should have been easy, but all of the things that you fix with Meep are not fixed here in Miami. So what I thought was going to be an easy journey ended up being a very long, long journey.
We need
But
to talk with the mayor, and
yeah, I
instead
think
of
we need.
putting so much interest on crypto, he can channel more about transportation issues. No?
Exactly. And somehow we have to package it up as like travel crypto, and then he'll be excited about it. Well, Guillermo, it's been great talking to you about Meep. When you think about the future of the business and where you and the team are focused this year, what's on the plan? What's on the docket?
Well, I think there are now two trends that are very, very important worldwide. Is electrification and automation. But I think neither of those are gonna successfully implement unless we have some issues straight, and one of them is connecting as many operators as possible. Doesn't matter the size, if they're public sharing, on demand. So we need to do that, to increase our network of integration. Now we have more than 150, so it's getting very big and bigger every day. So this is basically our main task for the future, and we are also collaborating with different payment methods to make a change and to create disruptive technologies in developing countries that I think also public transport need a push in some countries in Latin America.
Yeah, I love that idea of kind of what you were outlining, which is the bundle buying, kind of the integrated buying experience. It's a wonderful construct. Well, Guillermo, thank you so much for being on UNCAGED Day. If someone wanted to learn more about what you and the Meep team are doing, where's the best place to reach you?
Well, they can DM me on LinkedIn. They can look for us, meep.app, and I mean it's very easy to get in touch, and we will explain everything about connected mobility.
Awesome. Well, Guillermo, thank you so much for being on UNCAGED today. We've been speaking with Guillermo Campoamor. What a great name, about his business that he started in 2017, Meep, M-E-E-P. And they're building sustainable mobility and helping users to move in smarter and faster ways. Anybody who's tried to navigate any city, even the best cities in the world, still can see that there's so much more we can do to make it a more integrated, seamless experience. We've been talking about what Meep is doing, not only just to integrate all those different APIs, but also to find efficiencies in even the purchasing process. So really interesting stuff, Guillermo. Thank you so much for being on the UNCAGED show today, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.